Hello and welcome to Syndicate Gaming, where tonight we're doing something a little bit different. There's not going to be well, there might be some like competitive talk or meta talk, but basically in tonight's video, I want to be talking about the Las Vegas Open, which I went to 3 weeks ago. It was January 18th to 21st. And I just wanted to do a quickish video on how it went for me going to this big tournament. I've only been to like a handful in the past, and why I went and how I went, and just you know try and give like a different perspective than you might find on other like shows or podcasts where they really only talk about the like top eight finishers or their favorite lists. And I just wanted to give a more like real perspective on how it went for me. First of all, thanks everybody for liking and commenting. Keep on subbing to the channel if you see this. That helps out a lot, and it helps me, keep making content. Which actually, literally today, I got a new light, so maybe I look better. And I got a phone like holder tripod to help out with like the unboxings and to hopefully do some painting and hobby videos. So that's all very exciting, and I can't wait to start doing that, getting that set up. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the Las Vegas Open. So, what is the Las Vegas Open? Well, it's a giant miniatures convention that takes place in late January in Las Vegas at the Rio Hotel and Casino. And, there's like a ton of different games there. There's like Warhammer, Middle Earth, Song of Ice and Fire, Bolt Action, Sigmar, you know, like there's all kinds of different games. But, I went to play Marvel Crisis Protocol, which is my main game right now. I do play most of those other games, but, the channel is mostly focused on Marvel Crisis Protocol right now, and that's what I played. So that's what this video will mostly be talking about, but I will reference, other things that you can be doing at the Las Vegas Open if you don't play Marvel Crisis Protocol. So, I just want to cover really quick how I got there and how the tournament works for Marvel. So there's this really cool thing called the Marvel Crisis Protocol Invitational Series that happens all year long. And there's these lead up tournaments to the Las Vegas Open where if you win that tournament, you then qualify to play in an invitational at the Las Vegas Open. And I was fortunate enough to win one of those. So we're going to look at that really quick. Like I went to the Cherokee Open last February and I won this tournament. You can look here, there were 15 players. We played 4 rounds on Saturday, top 8 on Sunday, and I, took it home. So basically, what that means is, since I won a tournament in February and the tournament's the following January, I had a very long time to plan out this trip. And because of that, my whole family got to go. So my wife went, my parents went, my little brother went, I had some friends go. So, it turned into like a whole, trip and vacation, which is really cool. And I feel like most people that go to the Las Vegas Open don't do that. But I think it was really, fun and worth it, and it felt good to have people there to cheer me on and all that. But I just want to say that, like that was my main focus going was to like go on vacation and see Vegas for the first time, because I had never been there, and and to just have some time, just being on vacation and doing stuff like that. So I just want to say up front that my main goal wasn't to win the tournament. You know, it is obvious that I was going to try and win, but that's not like the only reason I was there. So I just wanted to make that clear up front. But you know, I was very lucky that I even got to go to the Las Vegas Open because my wife and I had twins back in July 1st. But I won this tournament in February. So, with this all this planning time, like this was going to be our first vacation, not having the twins with us. So, that was like a big deal for us. And, it was hard, not being there for them, but, it was fine. They were with their, grandparents, so it's all good there. But yeah, I just wanted to, talk about this different perspective and, other things you can do at tournaments besides just the like try hard, you have to get top eight or it's not worth mentioning. Like, no, there's a lot of reasons to go to these big tournaments and you can have a good time. So here, I actually want to just really quick, I want to show some of the things I did and photos we took. So we were there for like 5 days. So we flew in Thursday morning, because we're on the East Coast, we're in North Carolina, and we flew in and got to Vegas at like I think it was 10 a.m. Vegas time. So we had a whole day. And there are events that start on Friday, and then the main event is Saturday, Sunday. But we got there Thursday, so I basically had 2 full days of just hangout time with my family and friends, which was fantastic. So what I'm showing you here is um, this right here is the bridge over the Hoover Dam. Well, it's not over the dam, but it's nearby, so you don't have to drive over the dam anymore. But I mean, we went to the Hoover Dam. Like it's not that far. It was only like a 45-minute drive. My parents rented a car. We all loaded up and went down there, and that was just really cool. We like made a whole thing out of it. So this is a really cool site. Like this is the like basin here. Just some little trivia. This line here, the water got up that high once, and now it's permanently like whitewashed. I don't know. It was just really cool. It is worth seeing if you plan on going to Vegas next year. I think it's worth the time coming out here. It's really cool. There's like a tour we took. We learned all kinds of cool, details and random facts. They were telling us about how, each state contributed things to the project. And, I think from North Carolina it was like clothing and furniture, which makes complete sense because that's like the history of North Carolina, right? So that was cool. We went to Hoover Dam. Let's see what's the next picture. Oh, so this right here. Oh yeah, this was really cool. So I don't know if Duncan is really known in like the Marvel Crisis Protocol scene, but he should be. So he's like a famous painter that used to work for Games Workshop, just like the company that makes the Warhammer games. And he's now branched out and started his own, painting channel, and he has his own like website and membership service, which I'm a part of. And I got to meet him, which was super cool. Like I've been following him since I got back into the hobby like 10 years ago. So, that was just like a great thing to see. He's like super nice in person. He was the same. It was really bizarre when you've watched someone on YouTube for 10 years and then you meet them in person and hear their voice, but it's like coming from an actual person and not your phone or AirPods. It was just funny, but that was really cool. Um, like go check him out if you can. He does have some Marvel Crisis Protocol tutorials. I think he's done Iron Man, definitely Iron Man because I followed his on that one. And there's at least one more that I wish I remember. Maybe he did Captain America, like the shield, getting the shield looking really good. Maybe not, but he is definitely worth checking out. He's like how I learned to paint, you know, which is like most of the hobby for me now. So that was awesome. There's I don't know, I think I recognized at least 10 people on YouTube. But Duncan's the only one that I like, went out of my way to meet because he's the one I really watch all the time. But yeah, it's just full of the like famous people in the community, which is awesome to see if you wanted to meet them. And there's like a full, like vendor hall. There's like a games workshop set up. They have Forge World stuff. They have stuff you can only get at conventions. There's tons of different, paints. There's dice. I actually bought a like custom set of dice for Criminal Syndicate from the Baron of Dice, so that was cool. That's my first set of dice. I wanted something to bring home. Oh, which by the way, you get like a ton of swag. when you sign up, which I like didn't even realize. Like I got like a beer glass, a dice bag, a magnet, a mat, this T-shirt that I think you could see. Yeah, I'm literally wearing the T-shirt right now with this cool logo. So, there's a bunch of random extra stuff besides just playing in the like, top tier competitive event, which is really cool, don't get me wrong. But here, let's come back here. So that's Duncan. Check him out. Yes, so then that night, we went downtown. We did the classic Vegas stuff. We went to Caesars and the Bellagio and, ate dinner out there. It's the Eiffel Tower. We saw the fountains in front of the Bellagio, I think it is. There's like shows they do that are on a timer and there's water shooting up everywhere. It's pretty cool. Um, yeah, so this is like the classic Vegas that I thought it would be like. This is called Fremont Street. And that's like the crazy stuff you always hear about. Like I think, so we got to like the main entrance of Fremont Street and my brother's like, don't look left, there's a naked guy. So I look right. There's this dude bent over getting spanked by like a nurse. It was just really funny and crazy. Uh, so, going out and doing Vegas things, I guess. It's nice to have a vacation like that. Whoops, I skipped one. So this is me in the actual like tournament hall. So the Marvel event is like back here in this corner. Here's me in my shirt with my carrier. We were next to like some Warhammer Horus Heresy stuff, and we had Middle Earth Strategy Battle Game next to us, which is really cool. I like really like that game, and I like really want to get in that game, but I already play so many games. I'm doing my best to hold off. Like I only own the Fellowship, but I want more. But I'm trying really hard to not play that game, even though it's so cool. Uh, and then finally, here's me standing by the huge Terminator from the Warhammer games that they bring to all the conventions. Oh, and back there is Blood Throne, which is this new game that Frontline Gaming has just created. The like whole event's run by Frontline Gaming, and they also ran the Cherokee Open, which is the event that I won. So I was like, you know, familiar with how they do things, and that event went really well. So I, knew that the Vegas Open would be run well, and it was. It went perfectly. We got our tickets in a QR code. You just walk up and get this green wristband I'm wearing. You just check in. They have water for you. They like bring water bottles around. Because there's no water anywhere in the you know casino 'cause they want you to drink. But they had water in the actual like vendor hall and stuff. So yeah, that's just like a little bit of like the stuff surrounding the tournament that I wanted to just talk about really quick. So uh, you know, you know, s- uh, so that was all was great. The food, the drinking, the gambling, which you know, I did some gambling, lost some money, but my wife is like good at gambling because she wins and then just quits immediately. She doesn't spend all of her winnings. She has like really good self-control to walk away when she's winning. Plus, she had this really hot like slot machine that she would literally sit down at, gamble 50 cents, and win $20 on one spin, and then she'd just walk away, which is awesome. So yeah, we about broke even, I think, which is totally fine. You just go in with a budget. All right, so now let's talk about the actual tournament. Um, so I, went in playing Criminal Syndicate, obviously, like that is my thing. Like that's like how I qualified. That's all I play. That's played at the Nova Open. I went uh 5-1-1 at the Nova Open with criminals, so I know them in and out. And I don't get to play too many test games nowadays, because I have twins and I've started this YouTube channel and other life stuff. So um going to a tournament, you want to play, what you're familiar with is always the best thing to be doing. I don't think anyone would say criminals are the best thing to be playing right now, which is probably true, but I think they could, hold up. So, this is the list I brought. The plan's on going really wide. Bullseye, Black Cat, Kingpin, Claw, Blob, Crossbones, Bill, Rhino, Lizard, Toad. So I knew going in that Web Warriors were going to be popular, and I knew Guardians of the Galaxy were going to be popular. And my plan for both of them was to go really wide, because against Web Warriors, if we're both really wide, but I count as two, then I still have a leg up on the Crisis. Then against Guardians, I figured they can't kill all of us if we have 6 or 7 people on the board. Uh, here's my cards and crises if you want to see them. But yeah. So the actual tournament was run by Tyson and Charles, who Charles runs his own uh podcast called the Omnis Protocol Podcast, which is a great show. You guys should go listen to that. They've I think since LVO, he's already put out like 2 or 3 episodes. And one of them is an interview with the winner, who is Greg. He was playing Guardians with Cosmic Ghost Rider. The finals was a mirror of very similar lists. There's a couple key differences, but that's a great listen. You can go listen to Greg and Charles, talk about the whole event, and there's some really cool stuff in there. Um, so yeah, you can go check that out. Uh, let's see. Then John Paul was second, Mike DeLuca third, and then fourth was Alexander Ornoff. So there's like a load of podcasts that talk about all these people. So I'm just gonna talk about my personal games because that's what I was there for. So if we scroll down to 42nd, that's where I'm at because I went 2-4. Uh, so my goal going into the event was to go 3-3 because I knew that it was really stiff competition. There's people that play this game literally like 7 times a week, if not more. I play maybe once every 3 weeks, something like that. So I knew going in I don't have the reps. So, like when you go to these tournaments, it's good to set like reasonable goals. And I think going 3-3, it was like a decent shot. Anything better than that, I would have been super happy. And my main goal was to get the best criminals player, which there were only 3 criminals players, and I think Vodka Blitz went 3-3 with straight criminals, and then somebody else, yeah, Adam Lebo was Spider Foes and criminals. He went 4-2, so he did really well. Which is great for him. I think he did 4 criminals games, 2 Spider Foes games. Yeah. So yeah, he went 3-1 with criminals, and then Vodka and I went 3-3 and 2-4. So uh, not a bad showing for criminals, but so uh, just for the event, it's like set up really well in a way that I really like because I kind of hate doing like 4 rounds in one day because they're so rushed. You barely have time to like eat or sit down. You know, like between rounds. So for this event, it's only 3 rounds a day. Each round is 3 hours, and there's no like lunch break. So the first round's at 9. You play your games, which should only be 90 minutes because you're each on a 45-minute chess clock. And then after that, you have a break. So literally on all my breaks, I like went and saw my wife or had lunch or I went and did some gambling or something, whatever. I think one of the breaks I went and like laid down in bed, which was really nice because I was just beat. But yeah. So you know like the like whole event was run super well. So let's just jump into my games. And the event is set up in a bracket. So it has 64 players, and that's done on purpose. It's so they have 6 rounds, and after 6 rounds they have one person that's 6-0. but the whole tournament is set up in such a way that you can like see who you're playing next. Yeah, so like here's the bracket. Um I think I was in the lower half of the bracket. Yeah, here I am. So round one I was matched up against Mike Dambois, who is on the Strike Better podcast, which is a great show. You can go uh like you can go listen to that. That has all kinds of cool tech on it. I think he's with Ryan Farmer, who's a great Web Warriors player. But in our game, Mike was playing Guardians of the Galaxy, so I knew going in, hey, round one I've got Mike, who's a great player, and he's playing probably the best thing in the game. So I knew that it was going to be a tough matchup. And it was. And the score looks really bad. Like Mike won 16-4, but the game was a lot closer than that. Like I think all of his characters injured. Hulk had some damage on him because we played at 19 threat. Mike brought Star Lord, Hulk, CGR Bill, which is pretty standard. I thought that was his game plan. So my whole thing was taking Claw against this Guardians team because he has really good energy defense. He can't be pulled by Ghost Rider. He can't be lit on fire. And then I went wide. I don't remember exactly what I had. I think I had Crossbones. I had Bill to handle the big boys. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But the main issue was we wound up on Research Station in Demons, which is like the perfect crisis for Guardians. And Mike played super well. I don't think he made any, you know, mistakes at all. So it's like, best thing in the game, their best crisis, great player playing perfectly. Like it's an uphill battle. So, like, you know, took the L in round one. So I was knocked out because it's basically a single a limb because it's just whoever goes 6-0 in the bracket wins. So after your first loss, you can't win the event, but you can still do really well and win, prizes or, best team, whatever. So, I kept playing, like we've been planning this for 10 months. We flew to Vegas, I'm going to play all 6 rounds, which it was kind of shocking to me that so many people dropped. Like there's a lot of people that dropped after their first or second loss. And, there were, other things going on. I think there was like a timeline event and like a team event and this like cool event called uh Gemnastics where you can just put a gem on each character on your team, like no restrictions. So, that's cool. But I was there to get, high-end games against really good players. And that's what I got. That's the whole plan. So my second round I played against Ben, who I think is local of Mike's because they're in the same community. I think they're like Pork Roll Protocol. I think they're in like New York, New Jersey. I'm not 100% on that, but I know it's Northeast USA. So so this one was against Brotherhood, 19 threat, and it was Senators. So, he was doing the like Hulk, Juggernaut, Mystique. He had Nick Fury Sr. and the Howling Commandos, which is really interesting. And he had another 3 threat. Uh Mystique, Juggernaut, Hulk, 6, 12, 15. No, I'm sorry, that's 14. Oh, so maybe it was Toad. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, in like round two, I had Daze, Mystique, and Nick Fury, and had a lot of damage on Juggernaut or something. So it looked really good for me. And I think Ben was getting kind of down and saying like, it's over. But I knew like, anyone with Hulk and Juggernaut, like they're never, down and out. And yeah, he was able to come back. Uh, Senators uh and the like seals or the portals, like that's the one where you can pay a power to interact and then you teleport to a different portal. And I remember failing a lot of those, which weren't like too horrible, but it added up when it happened. Like, I think it happened 4 or 5 times. So that was pretty rough. And I think his Nick Fury, like one shot claw, which was really, really bad. Um, I don't know. It was just kind of a weird game. But hey, I lost to Ben, great player again. He was super nice. Will say that all six of my opponents were pretty great. Um, you know, yeah, uh, saw there to play Marvel. So my third round was against Weapon X, and this one went really well for me. So it was on Scoundrels and Cubes. It was, you know, like uh, really high scoring. 20 threat. Oh yeah, he brought the new Captain Marvel. Um, and I like uh like remember that she didn't do a whole lot because I went out of my way to like control her without dealing damage to her, and I think that hurt him a lot. And I had like perfect, like Lizard and Black Cat double move to his scoundrels to steal them, and I think Kingpin like spiked into Logan, and he was rolling pretty badly, I remember. So yeah, this one I kind of ran away with. My like list, you know, like did what it's designed to do. So that was nice getting a win on day one. It kind of hurts going, 0-3. Oh yeah, so okay, so round four, the start of day two, was against Guardians again. I don't know why it says 14 threat. That's not right. It was 15 threat because 14's not even like a thing anymore. But he was doing Star-Lord, Hulk, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and I brought Kingpin, Bill, Black Cat, Rhino. Yeah, I think it was Rhino. Maybe no, it was Toad and Bullseye actually. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was Toad and Bullseye. I went like really wide, but this one was crazy. Like I got like a really early lead on VPs, but his CGR like rolled. I think he rolled 3 or 4 power, which is pretty standard. Then he like moved, did his place, and then literally one shot Kingpin. And it's like, well, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Because I had moved Kingpin up to one of the like side formula points, and like he just moved up, pulled Kingpin in. He got stopped by a crate where I thought he was safe, and then literally just one shot, like 7 damage, all in one go. CGR probably needs a nerf. Yeah. So, but with that horrible start, I was able to fight back really well. Uh, so you can see here I was up 12-5, and this game literally came down to the last die roll because he needed his CGR to one shot my bill with his penance stare, which I think is pretty likely, but it can happen. And he just did it and spiked it and won the game. He also won because he brought Face Me, which I like never see, and that was super clutch because I just ran with Bill. He was able to pull Bill back in and get that penance stare off. So yeah, you know, like uh, this was another great player. Tetsuo, I think is how it's pronounced. I don't think that's his real name. He said his name was something else, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so I'm 1-3 at this point. Round five, I'm against Shield with like a Web Warriors mix. So I wasn't exactly sure what he was gonna play, but I think he had played Shield quite a bit previously. Yeah, he had played nothing but Shield, so I was pretty confident he was gonna be Shield. Um, yeah, so this one, honestly, I personally played really poorly. Um, so like at this point, I was honestly really tired, because we had been out the night before drinking. We had had long days every day. Playing 5 rounds is a lot. You know, not to make not to make up reasons why I lost to Ron. He was a great player. Uh, oh yeah, he had this card that he gave me of Rhino. Like Rhino's card, but it was him cosplaying as Rhino in like a Rhino suit with the money bags, which is really cool. I should get that out if I can. I'm not. I don't know where it is, but it is cool. That might make the thumbnail because I'm gonna bring all my swag together and that'll be the thumbnail. So yeah, this one I got kind of slapped around, which is totally fine. That just happens. Like round three, I did really well. Round five, I did really poorly. That's how it goes sometimes. So finally, round six, I was against Web Warriors. On Longshanks, he is a trash dolphin, but his real name was, I want to say Alan, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. But I know that he was a local to Charles, so he mentions this on his podcast if you want to know more about that. And he said his name, maybe it was Adam. Maybe it was Adam. Yeah, pretty confident on that. Yeah, so we did 20 threat and we both went 7 wide, and it was just like a drawn out slugfest. Scoundrels and Spider infected, so it's really high scoring again. And you can see here I won 24-23. I think it went to round seven, if I'm not mistaken. Round six at a minimum. But like there was so much crazy stuff going on. Like, I might have made a misplay with Claw, like not standing him on one of the scoundrels, like round one, because I was trying to get a daze on Spider Woman, who he moved up, to take my like home spider infected, and then Claw tried to kill her. Yeah, it was like Claw tried to kill her, Rhino tried to kill her. She survived on like one and stayed on one for like most of the game, which was really annoying. But this one I remember Toad one shot Gwen with an acid spit, and that like kept me in the game. Like he literally, I was like, all right, I'm gonna spit acid. He got like 3 crits and blew up, and Gwen whiffed, and that kept me in it. And in this game, literally, I think we had a total of 15 seconds left on the clock. I think I had 4 seconds and he had like 10 or 11. Like this is as close as it gets. Like, yeah, it was crazy close. But by that point, I was so exhausted. I was just like fighting for survival at this point. Um, so yeah, super close game, really good game. Yeah, so I went 2-4, and then I went and passed out. My wife and I went to the like brand new food court they just opened in the Rio just for that convention, which was pretty cool. I had a burrito. It was actually really, really good. That was like one of the best burritos I've ever had. Like maybe it's because I had just played in a crazy tournament and had been drinking all weekend, but hey, who knows? So yeah, that's just kind of a breakdown of how it went for me. I would probably go back next year if I qualify. Who knows? My kids will be a year and a half by then, so we'll see. You never know. But yeah, really great tournament. You should go if you can. Anyone that qualifies, I would recommend going. Um, and it's worth playing in like the lead up events as well, because people are trying to qualify. They're doing their best. Like they're the great events to go to. So yeah, that's just kind of my like more casual perspective on the event. I think hopefully I, you know, like made some highlights and stuff that's not just like, top eight super cutthroat perspective. There were really good games going on in the lower tables too. And there's some really cool rosters as well that everyone should check out. This is just on Longshanks here. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for me, guys. Um, Let me know if you want to see more stuff like this. Not like list building or tier lists or hot takes. I am planning on doing some hobby stuff like painting, building, or videos focused on new people. So yeah, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.